y que bla bla bla. Dicen que ya cambié y no lo niego. Para mi bien, aunque me sigo.
Go.
What's up, folks? Kevin here, the Tattoo Twin, along with my co-hosts and good friends, Harry, Sandman PR Vlogs on YouTube, David, Blucher's Videos and Collectibles on YouTube, and we are back for episode 9 of the Savage Podcast. How are you gentlemen doing? And how was your weeks?
We're still not canceled.
Yeah, we picked up another 1 week. Fox is giving us 1 week at a time. Brought to you by
Utah.
Brought to you by Land.
Executives of Utah have given us one more week.
It was cool of them until January 1st.
How the hell's your week been, Kevin? Let's start with you.
Well, I've been working a lot. Aside from working a lot, we had celebrated Halloween. We live in a community that's the only neighborhood that kids are allowed to trick-or-treat here in town because I guess it's safe. They can block it off. So we have to host basically the city and county, that many people. So we gave away, I think it was like 700 bags of candy, which came out to 6,000 pieces. And we actually did run out, but it made it to the end, luckily. But we had a blast.
6,000 pieces
of candy, like good stuff, not the cheap
Good
stuff.
Lord, sir.
So I was Clark Kent. The wife ended up being Harley Quinn because of the weather. It was cold. Her she had the Supergirl outfit, but it was a short skirt and all that, and it was too cold. So she ended up being Harley Quinn. But we had a good time, and I didn't sleep. Like, I just wanted to stay up all night, and then I went to work the next day.
Yeah, you paid for it yesterday, didn't you?
Had a good week. Got out, did a little hunting, some stores, retail stores, a thrift store, picked up a few items. But I had a good time. It was a good week.
Cool.
How about you, man?
I got sick this week, and then I had to do makeup time, so it was pretty hellacious. But I had a very restful today. We normally get this done earlier on Saturdays. We're filming this Saturday evening. I've had a very good, restful day. So I'm starting to feel like myself again. I'm getting caught up. What else did I want to say? I've been playing the game that I introduced you to a week ago, Kev. I've been playing The Outer Worlds. The day that I was sick, I mostly slept, but the little bit I was awake, I played it. And there's the difference between a sick day when you're still functional and a sick day when you're just out of it.
Yeah.
And I really couldn't take advantage and like get deeper into it than I would like to be. But it's really fun. I'm really loving it. And anyone who wants to follow me, my adventures on The Outer Worlds, you can do that by searching my name on Mixer. Mixer is Microsoft's version of Twitch. It allows you to stream gameplay from your console. So if anyone's interested in checking out any of my past streams or when I'm doing them live, I'm on Mixer. Just search my same YouTube handle. So anyway, that's how my week was. Let's see how Mr. Dave Blucher's doing.
Well, thanks, guys. Been kind of hectic this week, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, without the hecticness, it's been pretty well. I did go see Joker this weekend, and I'll get more into it later on when we do Dave's Corner. But as far as anything else goes, my pickups that I got for the week, I only got one pickup and one mail call. So this is my pickup. I had to get this what's it called? The Ferocious Tiger from the Jumanji toy line. I think they pack one per case, and so I just went ahead and snagged it while I could. I'm not saying that I couldn't find it later on, but it's just something I wanted to have right away. As far as the other stuff like the bear and the multi-pack and the elephant set, I can get them at a later time. They're not going anywhere, so no hurry. But as far as the mail call goes, a friend of mine, RV Collectibles, he sent me this as a what they call it, a random act of kindness. And he does that from time to time. He doesn't have to. I don't ask for anything. He just sometimes he'll just message me and say, "Hey, you know, I'm sending you something of kindness." So I'm always surprised when he sends me and stuff.
That's a good sized toy you got there.
Yeah, it's the movie studio series Megatron from the Revenge of the Fallen.
Yeah.
So this is my second movie studios Transformer that I have.
What makes a movie studio figure different than the one that came out when the movie was playing?
It's more, from my understanding, I don't collect Transformers like that, so I can't really tell you.
You're no Nate Simmons, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but I can tell you that the quality looks to be a lot better. It's more.
Is it supposed to be a more accurate representation?
That and a little bit more
released when the film was in theaters.
Yes. So basically, it's kind of like this is like your Legends and compared to your basic, figures. But like I said, that was my second studio.
Is there such a thing as a Megatron like that? That I believe I've seen them in store. Kevin, to correct me if I'm wrong, but it has like a soft good piece over it and stuff. Like
I have seen that one, yeah, with that brown.
Yeah, because that seems more film accurate to me.
Yeah, I've
seen this isn't the one. That's in a different movie. I think that's like in the
second one,
Age of Extinction. I think
Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
Age of Extinction. That was 4. It's hard to keep up with those.
But here's the thing, because it had soft goods, it would show you on the instruction manual and stuff.
Yeah.
But,
that was very nice of him to send you that, though.
Yeah, and
you should plug his channel right now as a thank you.
Yeah, everybody go check out RV Collectibles. He does. He's a well-known comic book collector. He collects a lot of comic books. That's his main forte. But he also collects figures too. Like his real passion when it comes to figures is like the old school PVC figures. You know, the little PVC figures, kind of like these little ones. You know, but he's got a main
is that would be the same thing as what Eagle Moss Collection does, PCP figures, or is that something else?
Something else.
Our RV also gets into those retro style Mego figures. He's done a lot of those. Those are pretty cool. He does some really good reviews.
I'm a little let down that he doesn't do videos about campers and actual RVs that are drivable. With a recreational vehicles. See, recreational. Let's talk toys.
Toys.
Let's talk toys.
For the adult collector, let's talk about it. I like them. You guys?
I'm gonna share. We're gonna do something fancy, and the people upstairs gave us permission to share my screen technology.
That's awesome. Let's do this. There's some things coming up that are pretty.
By the way, tell them about Toy Savages. With the people who don't know, the Savage podcasts were born from the ashes of this.
Yeah, we have a channel. It's a Facebook channel for like-minded toy and collectible collectors called Toy Savages. It's been around a long time. I actually it was called Toy Soldiers at one time a few years back, and it was dying. The guy that created that channel, Toy Soldiers, basically just was going to let it go, and he said, "Here, you're the only one really putting effort in. Take it." So I rebranded it as Toy Soldiers, and when I did that, y'all jumped on with me, and it's been doing really well, slowly growing into the upper 400s, I think, as far as members. But it's a lot of fun.
Definitely
increased. We post daily content and information about
lots of
toys, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
If something's on sale. If something's on sale online, people will share it on Toy Savages.
Yeah, you get good news up as soon as it can be given.
It's a tight-knit group of geeks that like to share info. But the good reason I wanted to share was the new Marvel Legends. David can actually come in on this and talk about. There's a new Fantastic Four wave coming.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's like all Fantastic Four. It's not like 2 characters and then 3 off characters that have nothing to do with the actual wave. So, know that Walgreens had their little exclusives, and everybody was going crazy over that, especially the Thing figure. And but they
Here they
are
are, boys.
They are re-releasing the Thing again into this wave and stuff. So I think it's not going to be an exclusive. I think it's just going to be
it's going to be a real wave,
like worldwide, like Targets and WalMarts and things like that.
But no Build-A-Figure.
No Build-A-Figure. The only thing that they have for this new wave is the scroll. They're going to do a Build-A-Figure scroll for the new wave, and that's what caught my eye.
The Super Scroll, yeah.
And even though I'm not a modern day Hasbro Legends collector, I do have a couple of them, but the only reason why I have a couple of them is because they were gifted to me, or I won in a giveaway or something like that, But they're part of my collection, and they do mesh in well. The characters that I have from the Hasbro lines, they do mesh in well with the Toy Biz collection that I got too. So there's nothing wrong with having a little sprinkle in there, some new ones here and there. It kind of adds diversity to your collection. But I am interested in the Fantastic Wave because one, you pretty much get the main characters that you don't need really. Dr. Doom, Sue, Mr. Fantastic, Thing, Johnny Storm, and then plus in addition, the only spin-off character that you really get is the She-Hulk, and that figure, I'm more excited about that figure than
he looks good.
Than the whole Fantastic Four.
Her and Doom they all look good is the thing. They all look on. They're not mediocre. They're not re-releases. You can tell Hasbro has put some love into these figures.
And I do like the Fantastic Four. That's one of the first core groups that I've actually grew up reading. While a lot of people read X-Men and Justice League and all that stuff, Fantastic Four was the main group that I was introduced to as far as a core group goes. So that's why I'm a fan of it, so I don't mind.
Well, these are going to be easy for you guys to attain because you have so many Walgreens where you live.
Yeah. I have at least about 5 Walgreens in my town. 5.
If not double that, because
so
if you go 30 minutes into Dallas itself, imagine how many more are there.
Yep. So there's Walgreens everywhere. So it wouldn't be too hard.
One of the things that I hated most about last Walgreens exclusive we got is every one of those characters had a different shade of blue in their outfit. They were not uniformed. It was very weird. And this one, they look great. They have the blue and black. I mean, they're very uniform together. They really match well. And I'm also excited about getting Johnny Storm powered down to where you can make out him. He has a little bit of the translucent look to some of his body parts, like his hands, but you can make out his human face and body. The last one we got, he's all fire. He's just translucent fire. So this one is very nice. Johnny Storm for sure.
Yeah, you like
Johnny. Definitely She-Hulk's going to be, I think she's going to be her, and then Dr. Doom, because we got that Ultimate Doom or whatever, and everybody's been wanting classic Doom for a while. So those Hulk and Doom is pretty awesome.
I'm trying to find images of the Age of Apocalypse figures that were announced today. It's kind of hitting the internet yesterday and today. Dark Beast was revealed. Jean Grey, the Jean Grey from Age of Apocalypse, where her hair is short, and that's the one that's with Wolverine. So I don't remember much about Age of Apocalypse, but I do remember that Wolverine took out half of Cyclops' eye. He took out an eye, so Cyclops' optic beam capabilities in the future is significantly less now. And then Wolverine sustained damage from that fight as well. Like Cyclops got him good too, but it finally went down between the Love Triangle 3 and that telling of this future.
Yeah.
And Wolvie does get Jean finally. And speaking of that, you saw that in stores this week, right? The Love Triangle.
Yes, and it was there's a lot of hate coming from it because the paint apps are terrible on most of the copies that are showing up. It's $70 for those three, and I like the Cyclops with the leather jacket. That's the only thing I can't see $70 for just him. The other two looks too much like what we've already gotten. So yeah, $70 for those three figures. That's even more than the $20 price point with no Build-A-Figure.
What's the Wolverine? Is he Bone Claw or Animanium?
I think he's Bone Claw, but the rest of them's the Jim Lee outfit. He does come with 2 extra head sculpts, and he has that cowl that lays back on him.
Oh, okay.
We've already gotten. We've gotten all of that already. But I think he does have Bone Claw, and I think that's the biggest thing that people are excited for.
That he is a yellow suit Wolvie with bone.
Right, yeah.
Which is a variant we haven't gotten lately. So
yeah.
They make so many Wolverines every year, Hasbro. I mean,
I'm not really excited about that 3-pack, but yeah, I did see it, and there's a lot of people digging
the
it.
Cowboy Logan, you remember how excited people were for that?
That was still peg warming.
Peg warming everywhere.
Yeah. It looks good. I like the cowboy hat, but it's not something I need anymore. It's just too much.
That's why I stick with Toy Biz.
I knew that was coming. Yeah, nothing's really excited me for that, for the Legends, but I think the Fantastic Four is going to get a lot of love when it starts coming out.
What else toy-wise?
What else toy-wise? Have you seen? I've already run into the Amber collection for.
Yeah, you did a video.
Those figures, and they're still everywhere. They're peg warming for our area too. But it's like for both of them, it's like $55 plus tax.
Malcolm and the Raptor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, once they go on clearance, I'll pick them up.
Yeah, they're not worth what they're charging.
No.
I heard they are comparable to the traditional multiverse figure body types more than they are the more corrected at the end.
Yeah. Line. I think Jeff Goldblum's the body. I think like the ab crunch and all that is a lot better than what Multiverse puts out. But for the most part,
the initial Multiverse, like the last,
right, it's a little better, but it does have single elbow. It's not definitely not Marvel Legend, but I think the ab crunch area looks a lot better than what the Marvel Legend crap was coming out, and it made me sick.
This is episode 9, the Savage Podcast. Thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Tell us below, what would you like to see us discuss? We're not shy. Come at us. Give us some topics. We're talking about doing some very specific podcasts in the future that are different than our weekly offering, like one where we discuss one topic the entire hour. So that's something that is early in the woodwork. We just have scheduling problems. We all work different schedules. Our times are always different. But we are looking at doing that. So that if there's something you'd like to see us discuss in an hour-long featurette, like one particular fandom, tell us why. We'd love to hear your suggestion.
One of my favorite, or what I'm excited for, and I would like to do, is definitely has a huge cult following, and that's November 10th news, which is going to be season 4 of Rick and Morty. I would love to, but the problem is it's a Monday and everybody works. Mm-hmm. But man,
on the 10th, right?
On the 10th, yeah. I'm
You know,
really
that,
pumped
that
about
bothers me because it's always been on Sundays prior to this. Why would they change that now? It's always premiered on Sundays.
because they're jerks. You know who wouldn't do that? Leonard would not do this to us.
No, they wouldn't.
This is
They
something.
wouldn't screw us over like this. Leonard.
And they wouldn't give us 5 episodes for the season.
I still got Szechuan sauce for sale. Orange.
I don't know how you saved it, man.
Men
I
on
had it
card,
for a minute,
Szechuan
and
sauce.
I ate it all.
Well, let's talk about another passion that the three of us all share, and that's the man soap opera storytelling of pro wrestling. So there's
I would
been a
like
little bit of things going on this week. There was the Crown Jewel. We're going to go to Dave and his thoughts on the Crown Jewel, how it all played out. I have some things to bring up to him when he's done.
I don't remember all the results, but from the highlights that I've watched, I can touch on. And Harry, if there's something I missed, you can touch on it that I missed. I do know that the women had their first match ever in Saudi Arabia. That was a huge deal between Lacey Evans and Natalya. And of course, we know that Natalya got the victory over that sharpshooter. And that was a major breaking, where they saw barrier breaking, event to happen. And and at first it did get a lot of heat, but then after a while, I think things had simmered down. I know that Natalya got hit with a bottle. Somebody threw a bottle at her as she was coming down the ring. And but other than that, I think the match went over pretty well. It was actually, from the highlights that I saw, it seemed like it was a pretty solid match. The OC won the world's greatest tag team tournament, and they beat the Raw champions Viking Raiders, and that was a nice step in their direction when it comes to them. Hopefully that momentum carry on, because it seems like once they get that momentum, it tends to stall a little bit. So hopefully that will carry on further, instead of having them giving that push, and then all of a sudden after about 2 weeks in, then you don't hear nothing from them again. That's a big deal for them. Let's see what else happened. I think Team Hogan won over Team Flair. Harry, you did tell me who pinned who. I think it was Roman over Randy Orton for Team Hogan. And I think Cesaro wrestled a local talent that they had over there. I don't remember his name, but I think he was part of the NXT trainer, or not trainer, but to wrestle. I think that was his very first match ever, and he got the victory over that. Give props.
He beat Cesaro?
Yeah, give props to Cesaro, because as he's been putting over a lot of talent as of late.
Yeah, for years, actually.
It's sad to see
that 2013, he's been nothing but letting people pass him.
Yeah.
And then yet he has maintained his fitness and the way he performs in the ring. The guy's in phenomenal shape. He stays in crazy shape. And in his performance, I've seen Cesaro wrestle live when him and Sheamus were still tagging together. That guy goes out there and he puts 100% in his performance every time. He's an upgraded. He's not half-assing anything.
Yeah. And hopefully he'll get his due, when it comes to his push, because if he leaves, that's going to be a huge blow to them.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this from Crown Jewel. Give me your thoughts on this. Is it sharing?
No.
No. Well, that was lackluster.
I was excited. Then it went.
You're like, nothing happened.
Wait for the anticipation.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hang on.
It's gonna
You
happen,
see-
guys. It's
Do you
about
have
that
to hit share audio or something?
time. I've never used it on StreamYard. Pero la cosa es que
Chrome tab, Crown Jewel. Here we go. I'm sorry. I apologize. How's that?
oh, there it goes. Awesome. It's
goes.
starting to load. There it is. Hey, that's nice.
They should have done that in Hell in a Cell. That's just my thoughts. They shouldn't have to wait to make up for it. Even though, some people say that the Saudis requested that to happen. They wanted a title change because they can get what they want. They're giving Vince all his money and stuff. But no matter how you swing it or what the story is, whether it's fact or fiction, I really think that should have happened in Hell in a Cell. Everybody thought that was Hell in a Cell. But, I guess they trying to swerve people into making us believe that was just what it is, and then they were moving on to the next paper.
I think I counted 6 curb stomps from this particular match that he kicked out of. So how do you ever let him lose to anybody if 6 curb stomps won't put him down?
And he got electrocuted.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they've built this monster. What are they going to do with it? And one other thing I have a complaint about, I don't know if you feel the same, David. The whole red light thing with the camera, that was all cute at Hell in a Cell. Why did they have to do it at this one, too?
Yeah, that was kind of stupid.
I'm over the red light. That's got to go.
Yeah, it's been in there and done that,
It's, if you're in the nosebleed sections and they dim the lights, how are you even seeing the match?
Can't see shit. But here's my thing. Supposedly, from my understanding, that Bruce Pritchard is going to do a blockbuster trade, because technically right now, as we speak, we have 2 world champions on SmackDown.
No, we don't.
So,
Lesnar quit last night.
Seth Rollins is going to have revoke his rematch clause in a cage match on Raw, and apparently, I guess, I would think that the trade, supposedly a big trade, is supposed to happen. So,
Lesnar quit last night. He quit SmackDown and said he's going to Raw. That's how they solved it. There's going to be no epic way of doing this. They just said, I quit. I'm going to Raw.
Yeah, that's kind of lazy
Super
writing.
lackluster. It was the first thing that started the show. Kevin even saw that part.
So how are they going to fix that? How are they going to write this into a storyline to make
I'll tell you how. He's going to Raw to get revenge on Mysterio for interrupting him hurting Kane after he beat Kane. Let's talk about that match, Kane and Lesnar. What was your thoughts on it?
Too easy. And the only reason why I did it because so he can have his knee surgery. That's it. That's the only reason.
Who needs knee surgery? Kane does?
Yep.
I do like that they let him use the Kimura. It's been a while since he did it.
It has been a while.
That was such a big deal when Lesnar came back. When he used it on Triple H, the Kimura lock.
It gave the WWE legitimacy again because
You're a Paul Heyman employee, aren't you?
You remember when what's his name? When Ken Shamrock came over and he was doing like the ankle locks and stuff.
Yes.
They all come in and they do their what they did over there in MMA, and it kind of gave a little believability to it, I guess.
Ken Shamrock has always gone on record saying he would have loved to work with Kurt Angle and do a ankle lock versus ankle lock match.
That would have been hilarious.
He says Angle did it all wrong. Like the way Angle would portray his on TV was not the whole the point of the ankle lock is the way Ken would apply it was like an MMA ankle lock. It was one that will actually make you hurt. Like the way Angle was doing was just making your boot, the other guy's boot turn uncomfortably, like on his foot. Like the way
he wasn't supposed to hurt.
Really applied.
Yeah. Well, we need to let the viewers know right now. I mean, wrestling is real. Sorry, everybody, but it's real.
Especially
These
Justin.
people.
He's always got something to say about our wrestling segment.
Hey, ask that. What was that old anchorman or what? Gerardo. Remember? He got smacked.
Geraldo Herrera.
He went deaf in an ear because.
Oh yeah, who
that's
slapped him?
real.
Who slapped him again?
Oh man, I can't remember the wrestler.
Pro wrestler smacked him.
Yeah, and he went deaf in that ear. Supposedly. That tells you how real it is.
So what you think about the Tyson Fury Strowman match?
I was at work, and I was watching it on my phone while I was working, so I could glance at it every few seconds. But I mean, the little bit I saw, I don't like Strowman loss. I'm not happy about that. But he's the new Big Show. What do you expect? His job is to go out there and job the famous people. He's the new Big Show.
Yeah.
It's too early in his career to be doing that, but hey.
He's already it now. He's the new Big Show. Sad. The monster among men.
He ain't no monster no more. He's a teddy bear among men.
The jobber among professionals. All right, let's move on from wrestling. Let's real quick touch about our boys, the Astros. They dropped the ball. They lost the World Series. Game 7. Wasn't even close. Nationals destroyed them. Started out strong. I think you guys were up by 2 in the beginning.
And then we went, 6-2? 2-6 at the end?
Yeah, right after that, Strohs had 2 on the board, and everybody was like, okay, momentum. And it was in Houston. It was in Texas. What happened?
They didn't want it.
The weather and
they're like, we've been there and done this. Fuck it.
Yeah.
It is cool to see an underdog team. Nobody thought, even myself included, I'm not free of I wrote off the Nationals too. Nobody saw them beating Astros.
It was cool to see them get that far, but yeah.
They shouldn't have won it. They shouldn't have.
They should have won it. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the refs and the umpires.
The refs.
A lot of complaints and calls about umpires, like if somebody was safe.
I just made it up, but yeah, you're right. Now I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, there was, but now in Game 7, more so Game 6, where they stayed alive.
We're gonna win.
7. I mean, that's as legendary as a World Series gets. When you are down and you have one game to win, so you can go to the last one, and then you win at the opponent's home. I mean, congratulations to the Nationals.
They've done good.
There's always next year.
Yeah. Good stuff. So we'll move on from that.
Yeah. Congrats to the Nationals. It was good to get that high up and go Rangers.
Yeah. Cinderella story.
Let's see, we're transitioning topics. Bear with me.
What in the sperm whale?
Well, what is in it?
I told you what was in my toy sperm whale. It was the helmet of Leia's disguise costume. All the way in the tail. And I couldn't put my little pinky in there to get it out. It was just in there. It was gone. If a sperm whale's mouth doesn't open, you can't put figures inside of it. It's not. Lannard has to make sure it can swallow figures when they make it.
Lannard can do it. Look at this.
Lannard
can do it.
Lannard.
Let's take it to Dave's Corner.
Dave's Corner, everybody.
All right. Welcome to Dave's Corner. And today's host is Kevin and Harry.
All right. So today on Dave's Corner.
I watched the movie once.
With Bruce Campbell.
I did watch a scary movie on Halloween just for you.
You did?
Oh, wow.
All right, Harry, we'll start off with you.
I watched it with The Lost Boys with my wife. It's one of her favorite movies.
Classic. That's a classic.
That's a good movie.
I mean, can we talk about how many trends were set in that film in those years? Like,
Go ahead. Take it away.
It's a cult classic. I mean, Kiefer Sutherland's character, the guy who was really like the head vampire, like his role in the film, the grandpa, everything about the film. I mean, the Frog Brothers.
You had a lot of good famous people in that movie.
A lot of
Why didn't the guy who was Michael? Why didn't the older brother why didn't his career? That guy looked like he had it all. He had the looks, the acting chops. I mean, why didn't he become
Jason Patrick?
Is that his name?
I think so. I think that's his. I think it's Jason.
It seems like he's got some other film credits since then.
He was the star. He was the star in Speed too. He could go over Keanu.
Cruise Control.
Yeah, that was him. He was in the lead role of that.
Oh wow.
He also played in Narc. He played in that movie. That's the only two things I can think of right off the bat. So, Kevin, give us your rundown on your 31 Days of Horror.
I think I probably watched, honestly, about 50 movies at least. The last one I watched on Halloween, I actually didn't realize this, but my stepson got permission from his mom to buy The Nun. Him and his little friends wanted to watch it. So, at some crazy time at night, I watched The Nun. It was so sweet.
I have to watch that again.
I topped it off with.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch that again eventually. I think me and Lean want to watch that again. I think we probably didn't give it a fair chance the first time around, but maybe the second viewing will probably do it justice. But who knows?
It was good.
All right.
There's a second one in the making, I believe.
Yeah. But I still want to see the third Annabelle film. I still want to see that.
Even sequels in the Conjuring universe, the spin-offs are getting their own sequels.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, spin-offs getting sequels.
And this all amounts to the guys that are the studio heads love money.
Yeah.
Conjuring cool.
The Conjuring universe is successful. It's
extremely successful in the horror film. It racks in a lot of cash. Is it as much as the what was that? Paranormal Activity?
Yeah.
Probably so.
1 through 10.
I think when Paranormal Activity came out and when they started pumping out sequels after sequels, I think it kind of went down in value.
You think?
Just like the Saw franchise.
It got ridiculous.
But the Conjuring universe actually held its own, But then again, you got to remember that was a different audience then compared to now, So I'm pretty sure 5 years from now, people forget about The Conjuring, and then the next wave of horror movies that everybody talks about that will make money will probably take over.
They're remaking The Grudge. Did you see that, Dave?
I saw it. There was a trailer for it, but I didn't watch it yet. I think Sam
they're copying that.
Yeah, they brought back the hands in the shower thing coming out of it. Helps you shampoo.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it all in there. It gets that conditioner in every little nook and cranny.
Yeah, that's really
you're done.
That's really a thing from Addams Family.
Yeah, thing he hadn't worked since those movies.
Exactly. So he needs some work. He has his comeback movie, The Grudge. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do a quick overview or cap of my 31 Days of Horror. I'm not going to get too into it. I'll just kind of read off to it. The first film from day 1 to 31 is we watched the Attack of the Killer Donuts. And then we watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Next Generation. And we watched Scanners, The Stuff. We watched I wouldn't say it was like a horror movie, but it's more like I guess you could say, I guess when you say horror films, it depends on who you talk to and what you consider horror, because everybody's horror takes is different and diverse, should I say. But after The Stuff, we watched a movie called Lisa, and that's what I'm saying. That was a kind of a unique one because it was a little different, And then we watched Frozen, indie film Frozen that has the guy that played Iceman.
Olaf.
Olaf.
Yeah, that played
Was scary.
Disney's Frozen.
That was a scary movie.
not the Disney film, but the independent film, the one that stars the guy that played Iceman in the X-Men films.
Oh yeah,
House
that
2.
guy.
Yeah. Then we watched House 2. We watched Killosaurus. Kevin, I know you saw that one. And then we
And
watched
House 2.
an old movie called Night Fright. It's like a Bigfoot movie. And then we watched Rumpelstiltskin. Then 9762 People. And then following that, we watched Poltergeist 3. And then Deadly Friend. The classic movie Monster Squad. And then Night of the Creeps. Manhunter. That's a Michael Mann film, by the way. Silver Bullet. Then 97642. The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin.
I love that movie.
And Elijah Wood starred in that one as well.
Good movie. It really messed me up as a kid when I saw it.
Oh, because Macaulay Culkin is how he.
Yeah, very awesome performance by that guy.
It just goes to show you the range that he could have had if he really stuck to it, as far as his career went. But you got to understand that he did quit as early on in his career when he was a kid, though, because he was so burnt out, because he was doing movies after movies after movies. So he probably did at least a good 30 movies before he quit, before he became a teenager. Or not a teenager, but an adult, young adult, should I say? But moving on, we watched Sleepwalkers, Day of the Dead, the original, that is the George A. Romero one, not the remake. I think there's like two different versions of the remakes. And then we watched Rest Stop 1 and 2. Then we watched Lord of Illusions. That was my first time watching that one. That was pretty decent. That was something I bought on a whim a couple of years ago. No, not knowing anything about it. But it is a Clive Barker film, though. But it's worth a watch, at least a one-time watch. And then we watched, after that, we watched Flowers in the Attic. And then Wolf Cop, Daybreakers. And then at the end, we watched the Rob Zombie Halloween. So that's like my favorite all-time horror remake ever. Just for the simple fact that how Michael was portrayed as a kid, you got somewhat a backstory in the beginning of the film, like during the first act, and then the second, third act, that's when it took over. And that's it. That's my 31 Days of Horror. So let's go ahead and move on to the DVD releases. So let me get out my trusty Fire tablet first. Let's bring it up. Okay. So last week, this past week releases, I will touch up real quick before we get into next week's releases. So the big thing that I touched up on was the Criterion release of Godzilla. And that is the Showa era box set that actually has everything from the original 1954 film all the way to Mechagodzilla. And that was in 1975. So that whole set of movies is on one set on Blu-ray. So we finally got able to have all the movies under one roof that we wasn't able to get all in one company, because back then Sony had the rights, was like to certain films, and then all the other films were like spaced out with different ownerships and everything. So that's why it took forever to finally get a legitimate box set for that particular era. And so some other films like Batman Beyond, the complete series was released as well last week. And then you got other releases from different companies like Arrow Video and Scream Factory, like The Blob was released. The Wizard of Oz, the original, is released again. And most of these releases were like on 4K and, upgraded stuff that has been rehashed before. And then we also have Ring U, the original Japanese version of The Ring. And then It's a Wonderful Life was re-released and things like that. So other than that, that was some of the big names that have been released this past week. So getting into November, so we're going to go to November, and then we're going to check out, see what's coming out Tuesday. Okay. All right, November 5th will be the new release date, and the big movie that's coming out on the 5th is the Hobbs and Shaw film. So, if you like the Fast and Furious franchise film, that's a spinoff that I would recommend. Also, as usual, you'll get your slew of releases from Disney on 4K, like Big Hero 6, Zootopia, Tangled, and things like that, Princess and the Frog, and also scary movies that to tell in the dark, that's coming out as well. And as far as anything else goes, is big movies, that's about it. Nothing really that stands out on that end. So basically, Hobbs and Shaw, and then scary stories that you tell in the dark, and then your typical 4K upgrade for Disney films. That's the normal big releases for that. So now we'll go ahead and go to the movie releases in theaters. So as I stated before, I went and just go see Joker. And without spoiling anything, I will say this. Once you see that film, you're going to have a whole new mind frame on who the character is, as far as the Joker and the other characters like Thomas Wayne and everybody else in between that that have a part in this film. Because I say that because you have a character that we're all known and love for the comic books. Okay, we know that. We know how that character has evolved into the comic books, and all the comic book enthusiasts will have their own thoughts and opinions on it. Either they're gonna hate it or they love it. Well, if this is the way the direction that Warner Brothers is going in with their DC universe, they should have did this a long time ago, in all honesty. Because I'm not saying that all their other films were bad. They had some bad ones. They had a couple of good ones here and there. But if they're going to go dark, this is the route they should go to, because you're taking things that people deal with on an everyday basis and incorporate into a fictional character and making it, come to life that, hey, there could be a Joker among us in real life, that can really do those kind of things. And scary as it may sound, it may seem, it's the truth, because you don't know who you deal with on a regular basis, because any small thing can affect anybody, no matter how big or sensitive or how tough you are. It's just the way things are, especially in today's society. And, Todd Phillips, the director that did The Hangover, if you remember those films, did a real good job on this one. I give him props for it. Good selling, good storytelling, and as far as good performances by Joaquin Phoenix and everything. I think he took that character and made it his own. I know a lot of people have their favorites. You have your Cesar Romero fans, you got your Jack Nicholson fans, you got your Heath Ledger fans, and you got your Mark Hamill fans, and anybody else in between.
He deserves to be in the conversation. Mark Hamill does. A lot of people overlook.
Yeah. and I'm pretty sure as this film ages, I think you'll have Joaquin Phoenix will have a following too as well. Uh, but everybody, everybody's going to have their own opinion about the portrayal of the character. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, well, you're not real fans," and yada yada yada. We hear the old hash, all that stuff. But uh, if you really dive into the character and really pay attention to what this movie has to offer, I think you'll take away with something with it because it's a pretty legit film and it deserves to have its own standalone. And also I know that Jared Leto Joker, I know it gets a lot of hate, but he does have its own fans too. I've seen it. Even my wife likes it.
People hate
Like,
that Leto Joker.
yeah, it gets more hate than love, but it does have its own share of fans. It may be small, his fandom may be a little small, but he does have its own little following. But anyways, that aside, let's go ahead and get into the movies that are playing currently in theaters. The new movie, and we'll touch on it here after we go over this. But the new release this week is Terminator: Dark Fate, and the next one is Maleficent: Mistress of Evil. We've got tickets already for that, so we have a free credit for that. So we was able to get tickets to that. So we'll be seeing that later on this weekend. And then the Joker, you got the Adams Family, Zombieland Double Tap, Arctic Dogs, Countdown, Black and Blue, Gemini Man, House Full of Four. I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be like a fantasy movie. And then you have Rambo Last Blood. I still need to see that, so I'll probably most likely will end up seeing that in a $2 theater. So speaking of $2 theater, let's go ahead and check what's playing in the $2 theater. So far the offerings that we have is Hustlers, The Lion King, Overcorner or Overcomer, should I say? I don't know anything about that one. Dora and the Lost City of Gold, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, Angel Has Fallen, Ready or Not, and then you got a foreign film. But that's it for Dave's Corner right there.
Terminator Dark Fate. Kevin, take it away. What excites you about this?
I guess one of the big things is I'm a huge Linda Hamilton fan, and they're going back to some of the OGs, and I'm happy to see that she's coming back. And then she especially got in great shape for it. She looks great for her age, and I'm hoping they just blow it out of the water and end it. I really am. I'm okay with another
It
one.
needs to die.
If this
I
is
feel
over,
this franchise needs to die.
I am exciting to see it though. It's sometimes it's hard to let it go when you're a fan. You have to know when to end it, but I'm excited to see it. I think it's got a good. I like that new. I don't know what his number is, but he's the newest Terminator they made, the one with that kind of dark liquid kind of. He can reshape and all that. And he's supposed to be almost indestructible.
Shall we watch the trailer?
That would be awesome because it looks really good. And
can you see?
Let's check it out. I can see, sir. There it is. Looking good. That's the guy I was talking about. Supposedly he's like almost invincible. And she's not a Terminator, the tall white girl, but she's like genetically modified. So she's stronger than a human, but she's not a Terminator.
He's like 80% human.
Yeah. And then Linda Hamilton's just an OG badass. And I don't know how they explain him, because I think they're supposed to have a 120-year lifespan. I guess it's about that, because he's supposed to have been failing since the last 2 movies.
And this is supposed to be a direct sequel to T2 Judgment Day.
Oh, awesome.
So what do you think, boys?
I'm willing to give it a shot.
Well, you do know that Tim Miller, the director of Deadpool, is the one that directed this film.
I saw that. Yeah.
So
I heard Cameron, as far as Cameron's concerned, he thinks this is Terminator 3. He's not acknowledging any of the other films that have been done without him.
Yeah.
That's what they tend to be doing here lately. They've ignoring other canons, of the films, of the franchise, should I say.
Yeah.
Incorporating their
A lot
own.
of people do that.
I recently
did that
saw
with Dumb and
Arnold.
Dumber.
I saw Arnold on Jimmy Kimmel a couple of nights ago. And he's like, who am I to tell James Cameron that this is not Terminator 3? It's his film, I can't argue with the man. When I was governor, they were telling me there was fires everywhere. And I was like, what are we going to do about all these fires? And I woke up and they said, Mr. Governor, now there are 2,000 fires in California. And I was like,
well, I have all the Kenner figures. The only thing I got missing is the playset. That's the only thing.
What was the playset? I don't recollect it.
Bio chamber.
That's the factory, right?
Yeah, where you can make your own
Factory.
Terminator.
Oh,
they put the skin over them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool.
So
That's
this T-800 that Arnold is in this film,
He's the 800.
the one that was dipped in the lava somehow? When she lowered him with the controller into the lava at the end of T2, that's him?
It's a different version.
Is it one of the other?
It has to
Because
be.
they made a bunch of that one.
He came back out of the lava and says, I'm not dead yet.
I can't die.
I'm going to age now.
So this is what they did. They have Terminator 2 Judgment Day, and then you have T3 Rise of the Machines.
I remember that one.
Nothing to do with anything about the Rise of the Machines. And
That
then
was a female.
they canned that, and then they tried to reboot the series with Terminator Salvation with Christian Bale as a grown John Connor.
That was a boring one.
Yeah.
And then they tried to reboot it again with the last one with when John Connor becomes a bad guy. He was like the bad guy the whole time.
Yeah.
What was that one called? Terminator: The Beginning or
Genesis?
So that was supposed to be the direct sequel to the original film.
We're coming up on 1 hour, boys. So any special recognitions of other Utah creators you want to shout out?
I bet you if you put Lennar Toys in charge of the Terminator franchise,
Mm-hmm.
movie. What you think?
You want
We should.
Lennar to make Terminator toys?
Oh yeah,
They could use the Rocks mold for the T-800.
they can.
I'm surprised The Rock hasn't perfected that movie saga too.
Well, I got one question though. Are any of y'all going to get the ultimate figures from NECA for Terminator Dark Fate?
Not me.
No, those are too modern. Those are too modern. I'm a collector.
A $5 GameStop sale.
I'll probably just end up going to it, getting them anyways, because
Yeah, let's talk about No Shave November.
Well, guys and gals, as you know, it's been
Who wants to join us?
something that's been practiced for many, many years, and it's No Shave November. Men and women are allowed to join. So I'm down. Like, I don't shave anyway, so it's like just a month to me.
Yeah, I mean, Dave, are you committing with us?
maybe.
Some Three Musketeers we are. Look at Kevin's face.
I feel like that Up guy, the character from Up, with my balloons. Oh yeah, like you're saying. So shout out to our regular viewers, everybody, but especially I see like Brad on YouTube. He's one man show. Make sure to check out his channel.
One Man Toy Show.
He puts
Hot
out some
Cheeto Fingers. Judson Osgood, the guy that makes no content.
He's got one of the greatest no content channels there is. So make sure to give him a like.
It's subscription based.
I guess you can't give him a like, but
Shout out to Overkill Hunts and Halls. He is 25 subs away from 600.
that is so amazing. Good job, Tim.
He's all
Hot
over
Cheeto
the place.
Fingers.
His content, he's Pokemon card openings. He's toy hunts. He's
Anime, vintage,
got a little
modern.
bit of everything going on his channel.
It's cute when he does with his little son. He does openings.
Yeah, those are pretty adorable. Too bad YouTube's going to make those illegal in January.
They're illegal.
You can't even mention that children are real on YouTube after January.
They don't exist.
What's a child? I remember those. The old folklore.
Like that Old Country for Old Men movie, or what was it? Old Country.
Oh, no. What was
No
the
Country for
Children of
the one where no kid had been born.
Yeah. I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
Oh my god, I love that actor from that. What's his name? That British cat?
Clive Owens, or
Yeah, Clive Owen. Such a good movie.
He played the villain in
Dang.
Gemini Man. He played the villain in Gemini Man.
He's the villain in Gemini Man. Huh.
It was good to
I'll
see him
be
back.
mother.
I really like that bank robbing movie he did with Denzel.
Oh, you talking about Inside Man?
Inside Man. Yeah, that was a good one. Well, I think that's a podcast. Don't know about you guys.
That's it, guys. That's a wrap. Until next time, true believers. We'll be next week, hopefully, same bat channel, same bat time. Episode 10.
Everybody comment below. Make Kevin bring over the past episodes to the new channel. Don't let him get away without doing it.
We're gonna archive all the
We
original
want episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Absolutely, I'm gonna do that one day. It's gonna be great.
One day.
And hopefully the office upstairs won't cancel us and episodes
Hopefully not.
will happen.
That's right, guys.
I am Sam NPR Vlog. This is David Blucher. This is David Blucher. And next to him, that's the one and the only TTH, Tattoo Toy Hunter. Thank you guys for watching. This is Savage Podcast, episode 9, signing out.
Peace.
Peace.
Pew, 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 pew.
Beep, 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 beep.